let me get this out of the way. Phone cord. Alright, I just wanted to make this little random video to show you all part of my marker collection and the stuff that I use. Get that out of the way. These are, of course, my looooooooooos. Fortunately, I wasn't able... Oh, forgot this little button. Fortunately, I wasn't able to get the brush markers like I wanted, but I got the regular tips. Hold on. Yeah, the fine nibs and the broad tips. I got this last year, and these are holding out really well. I can attest these are some great markers. I just wish the site would start selling individual ones. Now over here is a bag of my other markers, and I got so many of them, I had to put them in separate bags over years. These, of course, are... Okay. Believe it or not, Sharpies. Yes, why do I covet Sharpies so much? Well, because they're actually really good, like other art markers, but you have to know how to use them correctly, and they can blend. Some of my best pictures were actually, colored with these, believe it or not. They can blend with Copic and other markers, but because of the way, the fine tips work, and they do come in a lot of colors. The only downside is that, as you can see, hold on, let me get a better one. They really don't come, unless you still have the sticker on them, they don't come with numbers or, the color, name colors on them, on the barrels, which sucks. Okay, these are, yeah, sorry, this is going to be nice and awkward. These are my Tombos. I only have a few of them, but these are also really good art markers. They're kind of expensive, but they're all right. Tombow makes some great, they're the guys that make the erasers and stuff, but they do make some really good other art supplies. Now, these are my Blicks. These are actually really good for the price. They do come with their own replaceable nibs and ink now, which is good, but you get these at Blick Studio. The only thing I have to say is they smell a lot worse than Copics or a lot of other art markers, believe it or not, but it's alright. They do have a decent range of colors, and they keep adding them every year or so. There's still new colors popping up, and they kind of dry out a little quickly, unfortunately. Put that there. Now, these I like to call my random markers. Believe it or not, I got these at various stores since everybody's getting into the whole art marker. I'm holding this with one hand. Oh, come on, open up. This is longer than it needs to be. Okay, let me put this down. Come on. Okay, these are, believe it or not, from Five Below. Yes, they have art markers. These are pretty okay. As you can see, hopefully the price is on these. Yeah, you can get a pack of these for $4, but are they any good? They're decent. These are usually the type of cheap markers you can buy, if any company makes like their own markers. These are usually the type. You can, if you look at them, they share the barrels and colors with other off brands. They're all right. They're easily replaceable. They work well. These are also the Studio series. I got these at Barnes & Noble's around 2 years ago. These are also a type of marker that reuses barrels and stuff. These are actually inverted, because I've seen these barrel types before, but the little nubs, as you can see right here, they're usually put on the outside, but these are inverted. These are pretty good too. The only thing is the nibs feather, but they're decent color. As you can see, I got the skin tone pack. There's actually a pack with, I believe, 32 or 36 markers, and they're pretty okay. They're kind of, let's see if the price is still on this. I think I took the price, the sticker off. No, here's the price right here. $12.99 for 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 markers, and it's all right, but they're all right. They give some decent colors, especially with the skin tones. Now, these are probably my most controversial markers that I have that I actually love, believe it or not. These are Master Touches. Master Touch comes from Hobby Lobby, and they've usually range in price. They've gone up, believe it or not. They used to be, I believe, $3.99, but now they're $4 or $5.99. They're a cheap alternative, but believe it or not, these are actually really good with colors. They have a really good color range, but they don't have as many colors as, say, like Prismacolors or Copics or Copics. I've always said Copics for years, but these are actually pretty good in color range. The only problem is that the nibs feather and they get waxy buildup if you store them incorrectly. Let me see if I can find some. These are the ones that that have dried out, but still kind of useful, and I want to keep. I only keep them because I need to keep the names. See if I can give you an example. Okay, here's a good one. This is what can happen to your marker if the nibs aren't stored correctly. They get this waxy buildup. It actually doesn't make the colors any worse, but it's really hard to, get the colors out if you don't want the streaking on your paper, if you hold it too close to the paper. But yeah, this happens with a few markers. It's not just this one, but another brand. But yeah, this is just a waxy buildup. Focus in. This is usually due to the type of nib and the ink that they use. But Master's Touch, they're actually really good. And these are the markers that I found Ouija Skin Tone. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here you go. If you see a lot of recent pictures with Ouija, she's done with this, burnt orange. And it's a really good tone. I really love it. Now, here's probably my third or maybe fourth biggest marker collection I have, but it does suffer the same problems as Master Touch when it comes to feathering. These are Artist Lofts. These come from Michaels, and believe it or not, there is another one. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. Artist Loft and Art Alternatives. These are, believe it or not, the same markers. The only difference is this one, the thinner one, is sold at Joann's. These right here are sold at Michaels. Yes, these are the same markers. They are, because they have the exact same color. They use the exact same colors, except they're just sold from a different, at different stores under a different name, but they're the same marker, so don't worry about them. Now, these used to be $3.99. They're some of the cheapest markers you can find, especially for good quality. They've recently gone up to $4.99, but they're still affordable. So yeah, if you want some really good markers, they're really good. I highly recommend them, especially if you're starting out. But they're really good. But the problem is they suffer from the same issues as Master's Touch when it comes to feathering. Put that down again. Sorry. Unprofessionalism. Yes. Here you go. Another feathered or waxy buildup nib. Like I said, this isn't a dry pen marker. This is just a built-up marker. It has, come on, focus in. It has waxy buildup on the nib. It still works, but I know a lot of people are cautious. They don't want this buildup to end up on their paper, but it's still usable. The broad tip is still fine, but it's usually the brush tips that get affected the most. These also feather the worst. I use specific colors a lot. Let's see. I don't have it. I use Seafoam. It's in this group. Yeah, you see it right there. Seafoam is what I use for Ouija's hair. And as you can see, I buy this color a lot because it's so cheap. I can usually just, buy a lot of them. But because of that, the nibs feather, which means they start to come apart a bit. And it gets really difficult to color in really straight lines. It's better for, wider areas. But these are Artist Lofts, and they're pretty good. Let's see what else I have here. Now here is for what everyone was waiting for. Here's what everyone was waiting for. My or part of my Copic collection. Yes, I have a lot of them. I actually have a bigger bag upstairs in my room. But yes, these are my part. These are part of my Copic collection. Now, a lot of people talk about Copics and how much they cost. Yes, they are expensive. I know that. They are really expensive, I mean, compared to a lot of art markers. Now, depending on where you shop, like I usually shop at Blix, where these things are usually $3.79. They're actually a lot cheaper. What I do with Copics is I chart the colors I need, then buy what I need. I don't buy the whole pack. The only difference with Ohuhu, the reason I bought the entire pack of this, was because compared to how much it costs to buy an entire, the entire line of Copic markers, especially since they have so many sizes, this was like $270 or so, around the 200 range. To buy all the Copics would be like $700, $800, a lot of money. So this was easier to buy in the full range than I'll ever be able to do with the Copics, especially since the sketch and the original markers are the only ones that come with all the colors. Now the Chows, I like the Chows better because they're smaller, and I like the broad tips better, but they don't come in all the colors, so they got you there. Now, these are ones that are getting kind of hard for me to, find, in terms that they stopped selling a lot of them in physical stores, but they used to. If I can get it open with one finger. These are Windsors and Newtons, and they come in two types. They come in the brush markers, and they also come in the pro markers. As you can see, this is actually an older marker because it's in the old pro marker font. But I have a few pro markers, and in terms of quality, they're I want to say middle range good. I mean, they do have some good colors. The brush tips are a lot, let's see. The brush tips are a lot better than the pro marker tips, because here, let me show you. This is a tip, the nib, the regular fine nib of a regular pro marker. The thing I don't like about this is because of how they're built. These are easily breakable. I found that out the hard way. Now, in a lot of other markers that have the fine tips, they usually have a broader base to protect the tip. So this area doesn't break. I don't know why Pro Marker does this, because I think it's a really big design flaw. Because like I said, these can break. I found that out the hard way when I misplaced a marker and I dropped a book on it, only to find it and the cap had snapped. Not only had the cap snapped off, but this part had snapped off too. And it's like, oh my God, I've never had any sort of marker do that except for Pro Markers because of the way that they're built. But to show you the difference, here is the brush marker. It has, okay, I can see that's starting to fade a bit too, but it also has a weird barrel shape. But as you can see, the tips, there you go. The tips are actually pretty good too. They're soft. Once they get kind of old, they start soaking in a lot more ink, and it just gets, yeah. But in terms of color range, they're pretty good. They have some really, I'd like to say, unique colors. But in terms of finding them in stores, most stores have stopped selling the individual brushes, which is how I was able to get so many. They usually sell them in just packs now. Not like this, usually in the old clamshell packs that they used to have. But yeah, they only sell these in packs in most stores, and not a lot of stores either. I know Michael's doesn't sell them anymore. Hobby Lobby doesn't sell them anymore. I think Joann's might, and if you have a lot of independent art stores in your area, they'll sell them too, but mostly in the clamshells. But yeah. Let's see. Now, this is the last bag I have. Fortunately, my Prismacolor and my other Copic bag is upstairs. I won't get that for right now. But yes, I have a ton of Prismacolors, and because of the way that they're starting to sell them now, I probably won't be getting a lot of them because I believe they have stopped selling individual Prismacolors and now only offering them in packs. These are more obscure markers that I really don't have a separate bags for. These are Twin Touch. I believe these are a Korean-based marker. These are actually pretty good, but they're expensive. I wanted to try these out. I usually like to try out a lot of different markers, just, just to see how they work. And these are pretty good. I don't like the nibs because of all the markers that I have. I just said that they're pretty good, but then I go into complaint. What I mean is they're pretty good in terms of their color. They offer, I'm usually drawn in to see, the test colors. This is brown. Where is that color that I wanted to show? Yeah, here's the one I wanted to show. Peanut. Yes, I was entranced to try this color based on the name, Peanut. It's actually a really light yellowish brown. It's pretty good, but they're expensive and they seem to just suck up ink a lot faster than I'd like them to. They're okay. I mean, a lot of people use them. I know a lot of professional people that I follow on Twitter, they use them. I'd recommend them if you can find them on sale because usually on Dick Blicks they're about $7, so it's like they're more expensive even than a Prismacolor, I believe. So yeah, I mean, if you want to use them, yeah, go for it. I still want to try at least one or two other colors from them because of the tone, but it's not exactly a marker I'm going to rush to buy. These are Mepexi. These are good. They used to sell them on Blix, but they stopped for some reason. You can buy them on their parent website. I only have a few, but these are pretty good markers too. They're kind of, cost-wise, they're pretty in the middle too. But yeah, it's an interesting marker. That's what I'll say about it. It's an interesting marker. I only had 3. I actually threw one of them away at least 2 years ago, but this has actually lasted me so long, mostly because I don't usually use this color this much, but it's a decent marker. Let's see, what else do I have? Now, this is a brand I really want to get more of because I got a few of them at Gen Con at least a few years ago, and they never came back. I wish they did. These are Neo Pico 2s from the letter. The people that usually make all that manga supplies. But yes, these are really good. They're small like a chow. Let's see, which one is this? They don't usually have the name of the colors on the caps, which is kind of unfortunate. But if you keep the label on it, yeah, there you go, Sepia. If you keep the label on it, the name will be on there. But these are there's a reason why these are popular. I would say that in terms of color, and ease of use, ease of access, in terms of, finding them in Japan, these are second only to Copics. They're good. I really like them. I had a lot more, but over the years I used them so much that, they dried out. But this is one of the remaining soldiers from my collection that I bought that year at, Gen Con. These are really good. I like them a lot. I want to order more. You can order them online and they will ship to the US. But I keep putting it off. I don't know why I keep putting it off, but yeah, the letter at Neo Picos. They have a basic brush. Let's see. This is the the chisel tip. And come on. Yeah, snap off. Okay. There you go. And this is a brush. As you can see, it's just a brush, but it's a good pen. They have some really unique colors that I want to try, but yeah, this is the letters Neo Picos. And we're capping. No! Let's see, what else do I have? Now, this is one I only have one of, but I just wanted to try it. These are the tri-blends from Spectrum Noir, or Noir, whatever you want to call it. I only bought this because it was on sale. I still don't know exactly how to use the blend feature that well because, yeah, but usually it's 3 markers in one. You can blend it, and in terms of ink, it's basically like any other art marker, except you get all three of the, the blending colors. Because usually when you want to, color with markers, you blend in threes, the base, the shadow, and the darkest part. Imagine that in one marker. That's basically it. In terms of, in terms of color, it's all right. It's an all right. I got a brown, I got a brown tone. So, yeah, that's that. Okay, that's basically it. And like I said, I do have my other Copics and Prismacolors upstairs, but I just wanted to make this video. I know it's gone on for so long. Just, to show you my markers, and I keep them in artist loft bags from Michaels. But yeah, that's it. So, see ya.